Welcome, or my bad, live from the city of Los Angeles. It is May 1st, 2023. I'm your host, Duane Cofield. This is Drug Dealers to Businessmen podcast. This is the weekly tap in, and I'm tapping in. It's cracking, y'all. What is really good? Yeah, man. Good week. Hopefully, it was productive for you guys, those who are listening from all over the world. Man, we certainly appreciate you tapping in, man. We could not do it without you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Those who are watching the live, man, we appreciate it. We know we competing with basketball and all that, but we're not worried about any of that, man. We still got a message to deliver, man. We got an assignment from God, and we are sticking to it. So, those who are watching live, go ahead and put your city rating there in the chat, so we could see that. Um, those who are listening on the replay, man, we appreciate you for subscribing, man. We are almost at 1,000 subs. So those who have and haven't, make sure you guys hit the YouTube up. Just search Drug Dealers to Businessmen in your search, and we will pop up, man. Subscribe, man. We got a lot of cool videos on there. We have some throwback videos, so tap in if you can, man. We certainly appreciate it, man. So thank you, thank you, thank you, man. Our sponsors, Hair Livery, Cheryl's Famous Fried Chicken, and all that, man. Oh, man, appreciate you tapping in from San Francisco, man. Love Frisco, one of my favorite places to go. Love the weather, the energy, man. Love Frisco, man. So appreciate you tapping in, man. This episode is episode number 24, season 4. Can you believe it, man? We got 4 seasons under our belt, man. We are working on consistency, longevity, and legacy. For those who don't know, yeah, man. So this episode is even when you don't feel like doing it, do it anyways, right? And always, whenever I come up with something of a title, I always say it's God given. It's nothing that I just feel like I got to put down your throat. And this is all God's gift to, I would say, to the world, or I'm just a vessel and a messenger, right? I'm nothing more than that. It's just my experiences. And I feel like every experience that we have on earth is related to God, right? I'm not going religious on y'all, but I'm just trying to let you guys know for real. So, with that being said, man, I was kind of, chugging along my morning. And, when a lot of times you may not feel like doing something, right? So, I didn't feel like necessarily going to the gym. I was kind of like lazy. I felt like, oh, we can just go do walking because walking is easy. I can just go walk a couple miles. That's nothing. Going to the gym, I gotta actually exert some form of effort. I gotta actually try and lift and figure out what I'm gonna do. And I'm doing chest, I'm doing back. What am I? Okay, well, which one am I gonna do? And can I get to my weights and who's in my way? And you got to do all this thinking. So I'm like, damn, I really don't feel like going to this damn gym. I don't feel like going, man. I ain't going. I'm gonna just do something around here, right? We always, I know I ain't the only one to feel like that, but I don't feel like going. But my wife was adamant. She was like, I want to go to the gym. I'm like, man. And I really didn't feel like going. First thing I got on was the bench. And man, these weights felt heavy as I don't know what. I'm sitting up there like, man, am I out of shape? But it wasn't that. Didn't have anything to do with anything physical. It was my mind was convinced that I didn't want to go. And therefore my body performed accordingly, right? That's the thing about your mind. It's dictating everything, right? So if you already talked yourself out of something before you even do it, you're gonna perform poorly. It's gonna be a struggle. And I'm saying that to say because this episode is talking about even when you don't feel like doing it, do it anyways. Because you're not always gonna feel like doing something. My son had to spar the other day when he was sick, and they make them spar on Fridays at 5 after they had a full week. And what I've taken away from that is they're putting him in a position that there's not gonna be an opportune time to fight. When you fight, it's probably gonna be when you don't feel like doing it. But if you can still perform when you don't feel like doing something, that shows that no situation can take you over. No fear, no nothing. Cause I've already, you know what I mean? I performed under pressure. I performed when I didn't feel well. I performed when I really didn't feel like doing it. when I really, really didn't feel like doing it. What's going on, homie? What's going on, John? Tapping in, man. Congratulations, my brother. I saw your son on another thing, man. So kudos to you, man. I was like, man, they're gonna homie son again. Somebody else was talking about him in the Inland Empire, man. So kudos to you, man. That's a big deal. So, man, really congratulations on that. But yeah, man, we get into a situation. I don't feel like it, and our mind starts convincing us, like, man, go do that shit another time. You got plenty of time to do it. Why you need to go do that anyways? There you go again. You ain't never had no time, and your mind just start having this full fledged conversation with you. It's like this little ass voice that just me, constantly talking nonsense, right? And where are we getting this stuff from? Like, where are we pulling it from? Like the I don't feel like it. I'm not. Why haven't you? And you start to go through this list of stuff that you haven't done. And when it becomes too overwhelming, you just ain't gonna do any of it. Right. But this is the thing, what I've learned is on the other side of that discomfort, on the other side of that, I don't feel like doing it, is a gang accomplishment, joy, a feeling that you didn't think you could feel. One of the I don't know what book I got it from, but it said that one of the things that we think is that we think that by doing nothing, that feeling is going to be better than actually doing something, right? If we sit here and relax, it's going to feel better than actually cleaning our room, right? If we just sit here long enough, because we thinking in our mind, damn, I got to exert some type of effort to clean this room. I got to exert some type of effort to fill out this application. And it might even be rejection involved in that. So, man, if I just sit here, I'll feel better because I'll justify my lack of movement. Right? What do they call that? Oh man, my son talks about it all the time. I can't even think of the term. Right? Where it's just lack of movement. You're not moving at all. Right? And our mind just constantly tries to talk us out of it with these words. But I tell you, the remedy to that, the remedy to being stuck, the remedy to not moving at all is just the opposite of that, movement. The thing that this is a trick that you can play on your mind, though. This is the crazy part about it, right? You can trick your mind, though, by movement. Even when you're, oh man, I don't feel like, man, oh man, I just want to sit here. When you just, let me just walk to outside, like to the porch. Okay, well, let me just, and you got to do it in small increments to trick your mind. Cause your mind, oh man, shit, that's far, dog. Oh man, it's cold outside. Oh, you gotta put your, and you just got on all these dang excuses. Oh man, you gotta potentially embarrass yourself. Oh man. And we don't move. We just sit there. And I can't think of the term. I should ask my son. I'm like, man, what's that term, man, that you when you're motionless? I can't. If you guys know the term, put it in your chat. I've been having brain farts all day. It must be an age thing going on right now, homie. You know what I mean? And I'm like, can't certain terms, but it's okay. I'm cool with it, right? I'm content with how old I'm getting because I don't even talk about my age. And that was one of the things that that why that book, the power is so powerful. It talks about that. And it also one of the things, and not to digress too much, but another thing that it talks about is messages and everything. Right. And I've talked about that to the past. And I'll just digress for a minute because I really want to hit a point. And if that came to me right now, there's a reason why I need to say it to you guys. So there's messages and everything all the time. You just have to pay attention to it, right? And they're specifically for you. So it's almost like like codes all around the world, everywhere you go, telling you what to do and confirming what you're thinking, right? From a positive standpoint, God's sending these messages to you. Most of the time, we just nah, that doesn't apply to me. But that's where you're wrong. You got to pay attention. That's what that book, I'm telling you, man, I listen to it over and over again because it does that for me. It talks about love, which I've been given, and in return, you get that. And I'm not giving love to get love. I'm giving love because it's a better feeling than anything else, right? So I'm really, really pushing that book, not because I get a kick. I don't get anything from it. But what I'm telling you is it's changing me. Again, you know what I'm saying? And you go through these metamorphoses all the time. You should be constantly evolving, right? Into something different, right? So every time somebody sees you, you should be a different individual. We should be. I know I'm striving for that. You know what I'm saying? So these type of books are enlightening. You know what I'm saying? They're life changing, and you get these little messages of confirmation all throughout. The book tells you, right? And it said that in there because I always sit there, I'm like, man, God be constantly talking to me. He talks to me through basketball games. He talks to me um just random things. He will talk because that's the thing is ubiquitous. The meaning that he's everywhere. So he'll be wherever he needs to be to give you the message if you're paying attention to it. But most of the time we're not. You'll get the confirmation, right? When I was sitting up there being anxious, my old therapist, a message came through on Facebook talking about being patient. So I didn't even have to go see her. God sent her through Facebook. Be patient. Don't go chase anything. Sometimes you need to relax. You feel like you need to do, and it seemed like God was specifically talking to me through this lady, right? So these type of random things happen, right? But we have to have our minds open to them. So I just wanted to digress real quick on that so that you guys don't, hey man, if you're gonna spend some money on a book, buy that one. Right. If you're gonna and I have the audio book, so I can listen to it. I constantly listen to it. It's always on, it's always on. And it doesn't resonate with anybody else. Now, I'll put a caveat in there. This may not resonate with you, but you need to find the one that does. This worked for me. You dig what I'm saying? So it worked for me. It might work for you. It might, but you need to find that thing that God has for you anyways that's specifically for you that's going, because everybody's situation is unique. I needed to hear that, right? I needed to understand. Don't trip. Jay-Z, one of his messages was controls everything, even the perceptually bad. And I was like, he's like, everything's for your good. Even the things that we think are wrong are still for our good. And I'm like, that message, now that may not hit everybody. They're like, nah, well, what about? As soon as you start talking that shit, then it just discounts everything that the man just put out there. And you kind of slapping God's message in the face, like, God, you capping. And you can't act like that. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell God he's capping. Oh, you capping. Universe be like, hey man, God, you want me to put that back on the shelf? Yeah, go ahead, put his bag back on the shelf. He think I'm lying. And that's the thing. We can't take things into our own hands. We can't. We got to constantly set our minds in motion. And the way we do that is by physical motion, right? If we can put things in physical motion, physically, hey man, let me think it into existence as we talked about last week, right? All I'm doing is just pausing something real quick. So my apologies. But if we put those things in motion, constantly be thinking things, right? Hey man, I know I don't feel like doing this, but I'm gonna do it anyways. I know I don't feel like doing this, but I'm gonna move forward anyways. I know I don't feel like moving, so let me try this anyways. Right? The hard stuff, get the hard stuff over with first. As hard as it seems, and as difficult as it may be, you got to get the hard stuff over with first. And how do we do that? Start now, right? The most difficult thing, or you think is the most difficult, it could be making your bed. A lot of people hesitate on that kind of stuff. They won't make their bed. Why? Because I'm gonna get back in it, and they come with some more justifiable BS. I'm gonna get back in it into why I need to. No, 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 no. You start your day with organization. I know I don't feel like going to work, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Why? Because there's some benefit there. God woke me up today. He wants me there. Let me figure out what the message that message that may be sent at work may be the message that changes the trajectory of the 3 generations of your family. But if you don't show up, man, I don't feel like going to work today. I'ma just kick it. You're gonna miss the message. If you're able. Now, if you're not able, car breakdown, stuff like that, and you go through the motions and the stuff that's out of your control, there may be messages all in between that incidents as well. You may be missing the entire message, right? The car breaking down, you need to take better care of it, or there may be another message in that. You need to get a different and better job so you can get a better car. How do I get a different, better job? Okay. Now I'm examining this question as opposed to staying in motion, right? Because a lot of times, if we have an okay job, an okay experience, we're not going to change anything, right? Oh, it'll do. And we live in life to make do. We live in life to be average. I don't think so, homie. At least not me. Now, you could very well choose how you want to roll. You know what I'm saying? But if an option of being amazing is available, why would you take average? I could see if the option wasn't available, but the option's always available to be amazing and do amazing work. So why are we taking average? Well, average is easy. Yeah, I know, right? Which makes us lazy mentally, which makes us not want to be ambitious, right? Oh, I'm kicking it. I'm cool. Now you could kick it and be cool. I'm not saying that. We had a conversation about chasing your dreams. They don't like that either. So you can't be aggressive towards your dreams and be obnoxious and I gotta do 24 hours. I gotta stay up. I gotta go after your dreams. Like, yo, man, you low key, you are irritating. You know what I'm saying? Low key, you can't, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be around you. And that's one of the main things about thought. So when you start thinking about everything, in this case, when your mind is lazy and doesn't want to perform, you gotta move. You gotta make movement, right? Mel Robbins talks about that 5 second rule. I've talked to you guys about the 5 second rule. The shit is real, right? There's a book, and I'll show you guys in a little bit. It says, feel the fear and do it anyways. I thought that was cold. I said, ooh, feel the fear and do it anyways. Because you go, everything's gonna, especially the stuff that you've never done before, it's gonna be scary. It's gonna be like what embarrassing. That's why you gotta watch who you're around at that time when you're making these life-changing decisions and you're dreaming and you taking leaps. You can't have somebody around you that's sitting up there looking down, talking about, damn, did you see the rocks down there? Homie, I'm leaping and flying. I don't need you to talk about how I could potentially, whoa, the last dude who jumped, did you see? No, no, no. So you got to watch who you're around when you're taking these giant steps in life. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's mentally strong enough. Not everybody's brain is the same size, nor do they have the same head capacity, which is why I don't mind my big head. I mean, I know my brain is large. You did? Yeah, the 5 second rule is gangster. Yeah, it is. Really beneficial. So you got to move fast. Right? This morning, I already saw my morning creeping up on me. Da, 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 da. I said, no, I got to lay stuff down. And that's the thing he even talks about in that book as well. So what if things aren't exactly the way you need to have them? So what if you don't make it to the cleaners on time? So what if it just talks about all these things that really can potentially hold us up mentally. So just do things. And the thing about it is, like I said, it's them small incremental actions. I don't feel like doing yoga tonight. All right. Soon you the way I solved that problem, okay. I don't feel like doing it. So let me go on YouTube and find one. Let me find one. Let me you good yoga practice. Find one video. Okay, this looks pretty dope. How long do I want to do it, man? I'll give it 30 minutes. Okay, find one for 30 minutes. And then you sitting there chilling. Okay, okay. Next thing you do, you need to go get your mat. Where are you gonna practice at? Okay, I'm gonna practice in the living room. Go get your mat and roll it out. Right. And what you're doing is you're making it easier and easier for yourself. Right. You're reducing the barriers, right? Because a lot of times the more barriers you have in place, the less likely you're gonna complete it. The less likely you're gonna even try the test. Oh man, I gotta wash my clothes. I need some yoga. You shorts, you got shorts and a t-shirt. Okay, you're not going to class, so you don't need the pants or whatever the case may be. You got shorts and t-shirts. Okay, cool. You got some space. Cool. Kids in the room. Perfect. Right. So you just start putting everything together, right, and start laying it out. Right. You know you need to. Okay, I know I need to fill out this particular paperwork. I know I need to file my LLC. Right. I know I need to file it. Right. Okay. So let me print out the paperwork first, and let me just sit there while I'm sitting there watching the Lakers beat up on Golden State. Just throwing that out there. While I'm sitting there watching Lakers beat up on Golden State, I'm gonna fill it out. I'm gonna fill it out step by step. I may not submit it right then, but each thing I'm taking action. I'm not making it this elephant, right? Because the one thing about it, they say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. right? And not to sound cruel, animal, and all that stuff, but you got to do it one bite at a time. Okay, taxes. Now, okay, I want to learn to let me figure out the 1040. Let me print out a 1040, fill it out. Let me go on the turbo. Let me buy TurboTax or look at a tutorial online. You what you want to do is reduce. I mean, if I've never seen the hurdles before, the first day of race, they're going to be hella intimidating. But the more I go to the track and I keep looking at these hurdles and I keep jumping over them and I keep pushing them down, when it's race time, it's easy peasy, right? The same thing. We got to break things down in small, tiny increments, digestible things, because things that are way too big don't get done at all. Right? Because they're intimidating. They're that elephant. You like, shit, I just ate. Relax, homie. You don't have to eat the whole damn thing. Right? Relax on it. And that's the approach that we need to have when things seem like we don't feel like doing them. We know we need to do them. I don't feel like, oh, okay, I don't like, okay, you want to eat healthy. My wife's talking about we need to want to start juicing and doing all this stuff. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? What's up, CJ? Appreciate you tapping in on me. Um, you got to take steps for it. Okay, so how are we gonna do it first? Okay, we're gonna do XYZ. Let's get some recipes. Okay, I like this juice. I like okay, get these fruits. We got a juicer. Yeah, okay. All right, what's the meal plan? You know what I'm saying? And start to put the stuff together so that it's not intimidating, because those are things that you can hop on and hop off. And what we want to develop is at least 21 days of doing something, right? If it's getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, the 21 days is going to turn into a habit, right? And that's kind of what we want in terms of positivity. If we can move towards positive type habits. So we got to practice things for 21 days. I also posted something about alcohol today. Alcohol is a rough one, right? I talked about how I'd stop drinking. I'm almost 47 years old. I can't keep drinking, homie. Right? My body doesn't recover the same. So that's one of the things that I've left alone. Right. And it's provided dividends. Now everybody has their own cup of tea. I'm not hating on nobody's stuff. If you like drinking, man, by all means, please, bro, do what you do. I don't even like speaking on it personally, because I don't want to talk about vices. Everybody has one, right? And mine's not better than the next man's. You dig what I'm saying? So, that's that's that. But what I will say is, if that's something like, oh man, I don't feel like stop drinking. You know what I'm saying? You might have to do it one. Let me just pass on this. Let me. And the thing, sometimes what you have to do is change your environment. You can't go where everybody's doing stuff, and you got to be disciplined in that sense, because peer influence is real influence. Whether it's drinking, whether it's cussing, whether it's fornicating, whether it's cheating on your spouse, that stuff is contagious, right? So when you're around that type of environment, it's inevitable, right? So what you want to do is either be dolo, or you want to surround yourself with a different type of thought. Cast that in even in your circle. Don't even run with you, because they're going to bring out a different side, and you're going to understand different types of people and different experiences. And God's going to be talking all through that. So even when you don't feel like going to that meeting, even when you don't feel like going to that parent conference or whatever the case, you don't know what God has for you. Do it any damn ways, right? If it's on your list, if it comes across your desk, if it's on your radar, it's God sent, right? Take that Jay-Z advice, man. Everything is for your good. So take advantage of it. If it comes your way, go to the meeting. Oh man, the city council meeting, something. Go. You got the time. Nothing's conflicting. Go. Oh man, I don't feel like going. I'm finna sit back and well, sit back. God got something for you there. You can sit back anytime. You got the weekend or whatever, but go. Right? When it comes across your desk, if it's a suggestion or an idea, it is God sent. It is not designed to try to make your life miserable to give you more stuff to do. God has different ways. What he wants to see is your effort. Are you going to meet me halfway? At least for this blessing that I'm about to give you, at least walk halfway, homie. But most of the time, we want the blessings that just come to us, right? I'm going to do another episode talking about the universe may not be ready. A lot of times we're ahead of the game. We're thinking too far in advance, right? You see it. I'm talking about product failures and things like that in the classes that I teach. And oftentimes they were too ahead. It wasn't that the technology was bad, is that they were too advanced. The world wasn't ready yet. And a lot of times our ideas, right? We may be that entrepreneur. We may be that person, but the world isn't ready yet. So you guys stay tuned for that episode. Trust me, that's going to be a good one too. But the thing, what we've established though in the last few episodes is that we have a lot of mind power, right? And our mind can talk us in and out of stuff. And once we understand how to manipulate that, right, and not necessarily in a negative way, but more in a positive way, where we take more advantage of it, right? We understand the muscle that our brain is, and we take full advantage of that. We understand what it can and can't do, how it can motivate us and not, and how we can kickstart it. Sometimes our brain is dead battery, right? And almost like a stick shift. And what do you do with a stick shift? Pop started, right? By movement. Hybrids. How do they work? They powered by movement, right? This is the same way that this model works sometimes. Sometimes the battery's dead. Sometimes we have no mental gas. Shit, I can't figure that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know which way to go. Well, get moving. That'll get something. Jumping jacks right by the bed. Bust down 25. That's your mind movement, right? And if you can't figure that out, if you still cloudy, like, man, go get out in nature. We've talked about forest bathing. I'm about to go read that again. I just saw another study. A lady in UC Irvine's doing a study talking about postpartum depression and the fact trees. I keep telling people all the time, I'm like, man, if there ain't no trees around, if there's no forest, if there's none of that kind of thing going on, that is probably people tripping. It's probably a real negative environment. It's just where it is, right? I'm it's science, this stuff is documented. So I'm trying to tell people, I'm like, man, get out there in nature, go smell some pines, go smell some trees, here's some birds, hummingbirds. That stuff is therapeutical. And if your mind is foggy, that'll wake it up. Sometimes it just needs a kickstart. Sometimes it just needs a jump. Sometimes it just needs a pop star. But whatever the case, staying, right? Sitting, doing nothing, you can't do that. I almost had the word too. Oh man, if you guys think of it, let me know. I promise you, I'll ask my son after. He's gonna say, "Oh, it's this, Dad." I'm like, man, here we go. But that's what that's the key right there. And there's tools, right? If you need motivation, there's certain things that motivate us. There's certain types of music that uplift us. Man, play some music. Get some jazz going, house music, whatever it is to float your boat. If you guys don't have Tidal, get Tidal. It's got mood music. Music does do something for the body as well. It can get your mind going, right? Okay. Next thing I know, I'm kind of grooving, getting in my little swing. You know what I mean? Making my bed. Okay. Feeling kind of good. Let me pop my phones in. I might go do a walk. Whatever it takes to get the rhythm going, right? Because the mind it's a logical thing, right? This thing works on logic, right? As far as time went back, it worked at protecting us. So that's why when Mel Robbins talks about the 5-second rule, it's trying to protect us from danger. So it's only working with the logic. Man, if you do that, you're gonna be tired, isn't it? Yeah, man, but it doesn't know the benefit. The benefits are when I go run, yeah, man, it's hard when I run. Yeah, man, I'm breathing hard. But when I finish, oh man, the endorphins are going. It's better than any drink, drug you can even imagine, right? And so is achievement. When you've done something and you say, you know what, I supplemented this with that. It's not stagnant. It's a technical term. It is not. It deals with momentum. I can't think of it. It deals with its momentum and something. I don't know. It for some reason I'm brain pooting. Right? But that's the thing. We have to constantly trick our mind. It's dangerous, right? That protection, right? Hey, don't do this because this and this can happen. But the benefits, wait, that's the thing. Even taking risk, like going places when people like, oh, you know what? That sound corny. Like I tell people all the time, you like, okay, well, your mind may talk like, no, you know what? Nah, you don't need to go there. You can't afford them houses. You can't afford them houses right now. But if the thought came across your mind, God knows you've seen his bank account. So what difference does it make? You need to go peep them out. You need to go get an idea on what it looks like, how to get in here. I don't want to live here. It takes forever to go. And then we live on these hills. Okay. Well, where do you want to go? So at least you ain't foolish enough to say when you do get your bag, like, I want to go get here. And you ain't even really looked at it. You ain't even really seen how far it is to get to the freeways or a grocery store. Right? Well, like we go to dinner over in Newport Coast and all that. It takes a minute to get there. And I ain't seen no grocery stores. I where Kobe Bryant and them live and all. Like, man, this stuff is crazy. But you know, it works for some people. So it just really depends. But I'm one of the ones where people will say, I did that in Manhattan Beach. I went and did the tour of the mansion, ate the little sandwiches, the whole nine. I'm preparing myself. You think I'm tripping? What? I'm preparing myself. I'm going to look at it, see what it do. And that's how you have to see things. You almost have to be crazy, delusional, psychologically. Just I'm crazy. Yeah, okay. Well, shit. Crazy people have done crazy things, and the world continues to produce. Hopefully, some of you guys are taking advantage of that Chat GPT. It's going ever since I started talking about you guys are seeing this AI stuff. It's going nuts. Credit repair, you name it, it's doing you could do whatever with this damn thing. Writes content, it does so hopefully you guys are taking advantage of that. It's not like we exchange an old game in this piece. You know what I'm saying? I still teach in a class. I'll just leave it at that. Right? So I still am in the mix in terms of this type of conversation. So I've been really, really hitting home with my students about AI, artificial intelligence, and what it can do. It creates pictures. It's on Canva. It's literally everywhere. So it's kind of taking that drastic. I mean, from conversation to actuality pretty quick within the last maybe 2 or 3 years or so. I would say even 5 or 6 years. Right? It's really taken a drastic leap. So hopefully, homies, if you guys missed it, man, I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago we talked about that. Listen to the episode on homies and technology. Audio's trash because I messed up on my mic, but the information is gravy, right? If you need help with blog writing, letter writing, things like that, it is gravy. Now you may have to go through it in terms of just making sure that it has the things written well. You could just copy and paste it, put it in a Word doc, spell check it, add whatever you need to it. What's going on, Joe? Appreciate you tapping in, my brother. So those things, those type of technologies I'm really on, really monitoring and really seeing how we can utilize it. The homies don't get left out. One of the things I will say that I haven't got to is we lost a true soldier. So RIP to the homie Harry Belafonte. He was for the people and more importantly for the homies. So before I leave, or we're not leaving, and before I close this out, we're not closing this out right now. I just wanted to make sure I give an acknowledgement to Harry Belafonte, who when I was in college, we had a chance to sit down and visit and talk to, and just his eloquence and his persona of Black excellence and standing for all people disadvantaged was something to be really, really admired. But I got a chance. I don't really put it out there like that. I just always, because I'm working on my humility, homies. I'm like in more ways when I didn't post my picture or none of that stuff with him because I'm really, really, like I said, I'm really trying to get away from that. I'm really trying to like not be that cat. You know what I'm saying? So being humble is something I'm really, really working on. I've been humbled before, and those who haven't been humbled before, you don't know, but yeah, it's something to humble yourself before the world does it to you. And one of the things that I'll take away that I hear Harry Belafonte say, and this also is related to humility. One of his quotes was, "Get the world to sing your song, and then they'll want to know your name." And what he meant by that is, you can't be so out front that your name is more important than the work that you've done for the world. You dig what I'm saying? So that's the approach that I've always taken with things. I'm like, you guys don't see my name on even the title of this podcast. My name's not on there. That's it's not Dwayne Cofield presents drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? I'm not moving like that, homie. You know what I mean? I'm on something different. I'd rather get in the world to sing the song first. You know what I'm saying? Then you want to know who the host is, but the content is way better than anything related to me. These I just come with the God messages. You know what I'm saying? Me and God powwow. He gives me experiences. He like, here you go. Here's your content. Real experience, real message, really happened, really um a thing that you can turn into a lesson, right? For other people, right? So the gym was amazing today. Right? And it was difficult. It was still roadblocks in there, right? Because once the enemy realizes that your mind is like, hey man, I ain't really here today. He like, oh, you ain't up? I got you. So he start to go to work too, right? He start to be like, oh, okay, I got you. Hey man, it's gonna be difficult, man. Ain't gonna be no, it's gonna be packed up there. It ain't gonna be no machine. And then when you go up there, it's packed up there. Ain't no machine, right? So your mind, like, I told you, right? Told you, should have stayed at the house. You be chilling right now. You could have came back later when ain't nobody here. Woo, 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 woo. You're just steady in your ear, right? But you push through. You push through anyways and go get you some. Smack, smack. Next set. And God leads you, right? Close this so you can't get on this, but I'm going to get on this. You needed to work on that. You've been doing this for 2 weeks. You don't need to do it for 3. You need to move over here now. It's how God works. So if it wasn't nothing but just to say, man, go be flexible, dog. That's the lesson. Show up and be flexible. Period. And sometimes it may just be that. That may be the only lesson that you get out of the whole gym experience. Show up and be flexible. Almost on some Daniel San shit, right? As simple as the Karate Kid was. Wax on, wax off, right? But it's so much to do with defense and offense. You see what I'm saying? The most simplest things have the most profound meanings, right? You dig what I'm saying? So sometimes showing up and be flexible, how many ways can that be applied? It can be applied at work, it can be applied at school, it can be applied in your relationships, it can be applied as a parent, it can be applied how many did it's almost like baking soda. Show up and be flexible, right? The multi-use saying, man. And I pulled that out of a gym experience. Show up and be flexible. And you too will get swole, right? Is that right? But the reality is we need to be that. We don't need to we don't what's the opposite? Absent and stiff, right? That's an option too, right? To not show up and not be flexible. Damn, that sounds like a case of getting fired, right? Or something. So we need to, excuse me, we need to be thinking about the simple lessons that God's telling us, right? Because if we let the enemy get in and we let the enemy start to talk to us about it, he's gonna have us to where what? We're staying at the house. I told you so, because he knows your mind is tapped out. He already knows something between the last night and well, maybe we watched some trash the night before because I was up on the first 48 last night. I was watching that. And I'm like, damn, I shouldn't have went to bed on that. Went to bed on it, we didn't wake up with the growth mindset. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm being transparent right now. You feel me? So I didn't wake up with the growth mindset. So the enemy was like, "Oh, I got me a big one, right? I got that guy right now. I'm about to get him." And my wife, usually I'm like, man, we on the same page, either tennis, hiking, or something. And I was just like, man, I don't. If she suggest, because I'm already thinking, we both like, okay, so what we gonna do today? She like, I want to go to the gym. I'm like, shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn it, I really don't feel like going. And she was like, yeah, I want to go. Where my earphones at? She already, you know what I mean? She taking my juice. She hitting me with my medicine. Where my earphones at? Whoop de wham. She taking steps towards it. And I'm sitting up there like, man, she really gonna push this line. And I'm looking at what I got on. I'm like, yeah, and you dress for it. All you need is socks. Your earphones charged, and you got 25% in your phone. You don't need more than that, do you, D? Nah, not really. How's your hydro flask? Full. No excuses, huh? Nah. So therefore, we're gone. And when we get there, I'm like, man, I'm complaining about the check-in system, the gym lady smile. I'm like, man, y'all got these. And here I'm grumpo. Why? Because I don't want to be there. At least that's what my mind tell me. But guess what? My body already in motion. The hardest part over with, right? Once I check in to get that blink, that's it. Ain't no bowing out then. You committed, right? Man, I gotta do chest. I need to get the bench ain't never open. Guess what, D? We got one open today. Because at the same place that the enemy showing up, God in the building too. So he like, man, here, man, you need a bench? Got one fresh for you. Damn. All these things, because this is the battle you going through when your mind like, man, but God like, nope, not today, homie. Especially not today. I got messages all up in here for you. Show up and be flexible. Show up and be flexible. And I'm like, man, I'm here and I'm going to go wherever you lead me to go. And I'm going to still get my workout in. And that was it. That was the lesson, man. That was it. But the whole time, man, I'm telling you, man, we going back and forth at it. And this is the dilemma that we have, right? This is the thing. We're constantly in this tussle of what we know we should be doing versus what the enemy suggested that we do. And oftentimes we just feel like, man, the enemy's suggestion is way more beneficial. And it's not. Right? Way more, but man, just chill, homie. You've been working your ass off all week. You ain't got just chill, man. Just why. Matter of fact, this is on. Oh, this is on. I can't miss this. Yes, you can. It's on DVR. It's on all that, man. You can miss all that. Don't even trip on me. So we can commit to stuff. I've sitting there a lot of times, and I want to. I play Tiger Woods online. I play Madden or whatever, and my phone will be sitting there, and it's sitting. You need to be doing Khan Academy. You almost finished with the geometry part, dog. And it's so the same little conversations, like the same way the enemy suggests stuff, God suggested too. You just got to have it sitting there. Because it'll come across TV. It's something that you're watching. And it'll sting you. Wake you up, make you like, man, I know I should be doing something else. I know I should be doing something else. So why don't I? Even when you don't feel like doing it, do it. Even when you don't feel like doing it, do it. Why? That's where the blessings are. Period. That's where the blessings are. So get cracking. That will conclude our weekly tap in for this week. I promise you, I'm still on the power. The powers, I'm not deviating from that for a minute. So I'm just letting you guys know, man, it gets my spirits up. It's magic for me. And then I would also suggest book Feel the Fear and do it anyway. So if you have something that you're fearful of, something that's holding you back, something that you haven't done, whether it's cleaning your garage, I'm supposed to be cleaning my garage. Just do the shit, right? Let's get it done. Let's get cracking. Turn some music on. This is what we about to be doing. Fill up them trash cans, move some stuff around. Done deal. You're going to feel so much better when you do. And of course, talking to myself. You said the other day at the gym machine I wanted to use was taken, but I was going to leave it. Led me to a machine I always intimidated by, the system. Exactly. Yeah, I do this every Monday, Lewis. Yup, every Monday, 7 o'clock. Tap in. God bless you, my brother Joe, man. If you guys haven't checked this out, make sure you guys hit the subscription. Leave us a review on YouTube, man. Listen to some of our old episodes, man. Tap in, man. We got stuff for every like Nipsey Hussle said, man. I've been through every emotion in that you can go through on this journey. Every one of them, man. Doubt, fear, failure, you name it, homie. I've been through it. So tap in, man. All my episodes reflect. And I appreciate you guys as always. Tapping out.